You ready for this? Welcome to the To Be Read podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Vanessa. And this
is our debut episode.
So excited. We have been working so hard to bring you all of our thoughts, whether you like them or not.
But here they are in podcast form.
In podcast form. In video form.
In video form.
And podcast form.
Yes.
So you get the entertainment of our faces.
And our voices. Depending on what your platform is. We dreamt this up in my driveway.
We did.
After book club. We're hitting up book clubs like they're nightclubs.
Do you remember that day? Like, we went to a book club. What was the book? Was that a Frida McFadden book? That neither of us
the Frida McFadden book that neither of us read because we're not thriller girlies. So know that now. If there's a genre that we don't read, it's thrillers.
It's true. We both are too much of a scaredy cat.
Pansy ass.
You know, why am I paying someone, or like mainly in the movie genre, right? Mm-hmm. Why am I paying to go see something that's going to make me feel icky and scared and I don't want to go to my car alone, you know? I'd rather be reading a book that's like, you're a badass bitch, like, and you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather feel empowered
instead of being
for 2 hours.
Why are you home alone?
Yeah.
Have you checked on the dogs?
Yeah. So
they're in the house with you. No, that's a no for me, dog.
It is a no for me as well. So we love book club. We do hit them up. There's a few that we belong to, and we do like that whole, I'm sure a lot of moms do this. Like, we cannot be the only ones.
No. My mom used to do this all the time.
Really? My mom didn't have friends.
Well, they'd go out to lunch and I'd be like, Dad, where's Mom? And he's like, probably in the driveway. And they'd come back from lunch and just sit in the driveway for
really
an hour. And that's what we did. We go to book club. One of us picks the other up, and then at the end, we drop each other off, but then we sit in the driveway for a while and we just chat. And this time we were just blathering on like we normally do. But then we're like, what if we started a podcast? We talk about books all the time. Why not share that with the world?
Yeah, and I think it's because, what we're going to be talking about essentially is what we talk about in the driveway.
Exactly.
And that night, I get a text from you, and you're like, we're going to call it To Be Read.
I was brushing my teeth, and inspiration struck.
You know, mine's like a shower thing. You know, some people it's the toilet, some people it's brushing the teeth.
But it just happened that night while I was brushing my teeth, and then we just knew it was meant to be. But the book world is such a big, exciting, but also kind of overwhelming place.
It is so overwhelming, and it's really interesting if I talk to other buddies of mine, and they kind of enter into the ACOTAR space, into the Colleen Hoover space. They're kind of dipping their toes back in the pool, because I feel like a lot of these women, especially, not limited to women, but just a lot of women, read Twilight, and they kind of went through a Hunger Games. That was the era that they read in, and then they stopped for life, for being a mom, for being a parent, or what have you. And there was almost a book
apostasy.
Yeah, but a lot of people our age stopped reading for a while.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure why that happened, because there was great books, and then Outlander helped bring in people, and ACOTAR, and Colleen Hoover, and Frida McFadden, and some of these staples of the genre, and now it's becoming popularized through social media.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting space that we are in now.
And it can be so overwhelming, especially if you don't feel like you have a certain niche that you fit into.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to know, you can be a reader no matter what you read. If you're just reading self-published stuff, if you're just reading only fantasy, if you're reading fan fiction, if you're reading whatever, if you are reading words on a dead tree, you belong in the reading space.
Or on a screen. Yeah. Or if you listen, just however you ingest.
Audiobooks, yep. You're welcome too.
You are very much a genre hopper, it feels like.
Absolutely.
What are you reading now?
I'm ADHD personified. What am I reading right now?
What is
I am currently reading Glow of the Everflame, which is the second book in the Kindred Cursed saga.
My favorite of that whole series so far.
The second one is?
The second one is my favorite.
Good to know. I'm reading that one, and I just started another Hermione fanfic today.
Oh.
Because I can't quit them.
Hey, listen, we all go through a phase.
And I'm in it hard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm in right now. We'll
Okay.
talk about the book I just finished a little bit later, because it might have made it into my top.
Oh, okay. I am reading a book that I don't normally, like a genre I don't normally dabble in, but I'm reading Red Rising. I just finished.
Pierce Brown, classic.
Yeah. Have you seen that man?
I think I had a small glimpse of him the other day on TikTok, and I was astounded.
Yeah. You go, Glen Coco. It's astounding that someone so young, I mean, he's fairly young for an author, is having such success, and that
Crazy success.
that is happening across the board. But like, I don't know, maybe I was just taken aback. And this is one that I've heard a lot about, and I actually initially heard it because like my husband's coworker recommended it to him, and so I'm currently reading that one. But I did just finish the Everflame series because we are kind of buddy reading them.
The Everflame series that is currently out right now.
Yeah.
Because that fourth date keeps changing.
Yeah, poor Penn Cole. I feel really bad because I'm sure there's other facets than just like, I'm sure she has a written, to be super honest.
Oh, 100%.
But like, I think she might be in the middle of publishing. Like, she just got like hardbacks in. I don't know. I think there might be something going on there.
Yeah.
And people are giving her crap because that date has moved a couple of times. And
Yeah.
I just feel so bad because it sounds like she's getting bullied online, and that's
Boo!
never, we don't like that.
Come on,
So,
they're creating art for us. Chill out.
yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a book.
And I'm only in the second book, so I'm not rabid for the fourth one yet.
We could talk about our current reads a little later. Both of us kind of read Wild Ones, you mainly, but
Yeah. Yeah. I just got my world rocked hard a couple days ago.
sounds so sexual. Maybe it was.
I just got my world destroyed
I love
and put
that
back
for you.
together in so many beautiful different ways.
What is it that you tell your daughter? It's like a book can like really shape the way that your mind works without even having to go through the same things.
Yeah, like it helps you see the way somebody else's mind works, and it helps you kind of understand yours better without having to go through it.
Yeah, you can learn so much just
can.
by reading someone else's words. But we should probably introduce ourselves a little bit. We're going to back up a little bit.
Just thinking that.
I think it's very imperative you guys know who we are and what we're about.
Yeah.
So I'm Vanessa. I am a creative at heart. I do a lot of creative things. I'm a graphic designer, art director. I literally just try and keep creative at all times. That's why this podcast really resonated with me. It was just another facet for that. I love 70s and 80s music.
That means That means you're going to love all the young dudes even more.
Well, when you sent me that playlist, I was like, ooh, I like that. So yes, I love a good jam session to Ricky Martin or the Bluey soundtrack, depending on the day. And Ted Lasso. That's me.
Ted. I'm Julie. I am mom extraordinaire. I'm 30 years old. Mom, married for 10 years, and I'm a dabbler. I'm a dabbler in things. Currently bookbinding and gardening. My flowers. It's flower season. Room with the flowers. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, Ted Lasso, and emo music.
Who doesn't like emo music? Like
It's
we
not
all
just
like
a phase.
we all like emo music in like different facets. Like some people like the all American, like the more poppy kind, and some
Yeah.
people like get really into like the.
But I
deep
also love
screamo.
Taylor Swift, so I'm like,
She
I'm
is
an emo Swiftie.
She's like a pop emo.
Yeah.
Because
We
I
love
mean,
her.
listen
Those
to her.
lyrics
Yeah,
hit.
I was gonna say those lyrics are
hit
not.
hard.
And you can really respect your Taylor Swift era.
You're a good
that
friend.
in. I can't say, okay, here's the thing about Taylor Swift. I like Taylor Swift, but I don't like love her music.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
But I like respect her.
And
like,
you'll
I'm
listen
not a
to it with
hater.
me, and
Yeah.
you'll let me send you videos and stuff.
Oh, she got some good ones. Like they're very applicable to the
Yeah,
book
yeah.
talk community. So please don't come at me for that. But
No, we love you. We respect opinions over here.
yeah, I'd love to see, because she kind of has like really changed her sound.
Genres have changed over the years, for sure.
So it'll be very interesting to see what she does next.
Yeah. She keeps us on our toes. You know what else will keep you on your toes?
What?
My ranking system.
For books?
For books.
Okay. I had to back up there. For men? I don't know.
Because part of getting to know us is knowing our ranking systems.
Especially like in social media,
Yeah.
you get to find people that you connect with more than others. Even though you like a bunch of different people, you take people's recs better because you align yourself better. So let's tell you how we align.
Here's the 5-star ranking system through the eyes of Julie. A 1 is I either didn't finish it or it was a skim to finish because I absolutely hated it. And there's no like love for that book whatsoever. A 2. Now a 2 for me, I finally have figured this out, that it's something very specific. A 2 usually means I devoured it. Like I read it really fast. I kind of had a hard time putting it down, but the content did not resonate with me, or it was just like, why did I read that? Even if I devoured it.
Okay.
That's what a 2 is. So it's kind of weird.
I feel like I need an example.
Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Devoured it, read it in 3 days. But at the end, I was like, what the hell was that? What did I just
What did I just read?
What did I read? But I had a hard time putting it down because I was just like, what's going on? Really crappy smut can fall in there too. Like,
hey, listen, there's a time and
a place. A 3-star for me is like, I'm just here for the vibes. It's nothing noteworthy. I probably won't recommend it. Like, I read it, I finished it, whatever. A 4 is where a lot of my books land. Like, I'll recommend them. I'll probably purchase it. I might read it again.
Okay.
5-star was like, blew my socks off. I will recommend it till the day I die. I won't stop talking about it, and I will reread it for sure.
Okay.
So my weird one's just kind of the 2s. The 2s are just kind of an odd place for me.
My 2s and 3s can fluctuate depending. So my 1 is like, did not finish, DNF'd, refused to go back to it. And I've only done that with like 2 or 3 books total. 2s are, I read it and I didn't like it, but I read it. At least I finished it. And then 3s are, I read it and I liked it, but it was nothing to write home about. Like, it's like, would I read it again? Probably not. My 2s and 3s fluctuate in like, sometimes I really like a plot, but the writing wasn't quite there. So then it's like a 2.5. So it kind of like backtracks a little bit. So I kind of definitely go towards like half points. I really liked a certain aspect of it, but I didn't like the whole. Mm-hmm. So 4s, I liked and like I really enjoyed. I'd reread it, and I'm a rereader. You will come to find, and like I had a great time. I will recommend those to a friend. And 5, like those are my God tier. Like I don't like, some people have like up to 5 and then like a God tier or an S rank. I just have up to 5. I'm not that cool. So I only have a handful of books in my 5-star. A lot of them make it to 4.5 though.
Yeah.
They're like almost there, but they don't quite make the cut. So that's kind of how I rank things.
Beautiful. I do live and die by the Goodreads.
Do you?
Yes. I've been so consistent on Goodreads that I'm scared to switch over to something else. And it sucks because I don't have a half-star. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes, just depending on how I liked it, like I'll either round it down or round it up.
Okay.
But then I normally put in my review, which aren't very long ever, but I'll normally put in my review like 3.5 or 4.5 or whatever.
Oh, okay. You clarify.
I clarify.
You know, Goodreads, like it can stay on top if it would just add half stars and if they would make it more visual. Because I prefer Fable.
Yes.
But I didn't even start using Goodreads until earlier this year anyway. I think it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, you know?
Does.
So, yeah, that's how we rank. And it's funny because you and I can read the same books and rank them very differently.
Yes.
And that's what I love about our relationship.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing because we love reading, but our genres are also pretty different.
Right. I'm kind of a diehard fantasy. Like I will read other genres. I dabble in like historical fiction and lit fics. Like not a ton of contemporary romance, but sometimes if I hear it's good, I'll read it. But they never make my top list ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really am a fantasy girl.
I respect that. That's where our Venn diagram overlaps the most.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because I used to claim I was not a fantasy girl, but I am in my fantasy era for
Love
sure.
that.
But I am a contemporary girl a lit fic girl. I'm heavily a fanfic girl right now. And I own it.
I was going to say, don't apologize for that.
I own it. I also enjoy a memoir or like a nonfiction. Okay. I just read a really good one a few weeks ago, The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. That was really good. But I hop around.
Okay, you do hop more than I hop.
Because I'm a mood reader.
Julie is a mood reader.
We'll talk about that in our buddy ring episode because I can be the bane of Vanessa's existence. But,
no.
It's hard to read books with me sometimes. Not with me, but to get me to read a book at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It is hard.
We'll talk about that endeavor.
But I have unlimited patience when it comes to books because they're always there, right?
Yes.
You can't take them away.
You can't.
Well, unless you're the public library, but for the most part, you can't take.
Yeah, they're always there for you. Mm-hmm. So they're just there whenever you're ready. They're waiting for you, just like all the books on your TBR shelf.
Do you ever look at your do you have a physical TBR pile?
I do not have a physical TBR pile.
Oh, I do.
My Kindle is unhinged right now, but
mine stares at me and it whispers, "Read me, read me." And do I ever get to it? No, because something else. Usually, Julie will text me and be like, "Drop everything to read this book fanfic."
Now.
Which I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty sure all the books that you've recommended slap. So, no complaints from me.
Thank you.
It's weird because I do take all of your recommendations. I feel like you take most of mine.
Yeah, I take most of yours in time.
You're
very patient with me.
And that's okay because you just have to be in the right mindset, and we totally get that.
We respect each other for it.
Your top, and granted this might have changed since the last time we talked about this, your top books are wild to me because they're not what you normally read. They're like these offshoot, like come on. What's your top 3?
I'm going to give you 4.
Okay, 4.
Because it's changed a smidge. So we're going 4, 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
Okay, number 4... Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin.
I need to read that one.
It's a literary fiction. It's about these 3 friends that develop a video game. It's told over the span of years and years and years. I just think it's such a beautifully told story. There's so much depth about the beauty of like platonic relationships, childhood friendships, heartbreak. There's just so much to that book. And I know some people that absolutely hate it.
Yeah, that is a very debated book.
Devoured that book. The Oregon Trail video game chapter is one that is like forever ingrained in my memory. I cannot wait for you to read it. And I think I'll have to reread it when you read it.
Okay.
That's number 4.
Okay.
Number 3 is a newcomer as of this weekend. And that is All the Young Dudes by Miss King Bean 89.
Which is a fanfic.
It's a fan fiction about the Marauders from Harry Potter. It covers their time at Hogwarts, years 1 through 7, then the First Wizarding War, and then it goes up until the summer before Harry Potter's 5th year. And it's told through Remus Lupin's perspective.
Wow, I don't think I knew it went all the way up to like when he was alive.
All the way up to the 5th year.
Oh, goodness. It's thick.
It is the biggest book I've ever read.
How many pages?
Around 1,800. It's a 526,000 word fan fiction.
That's like 3 books.
Beautifully told. The friendships, everything about it was just so beautiful. And I bawled through that last chapter.
You do not.
I don't cry in books. I know 3 books now that I've cried in. All the Young Dudes, Kingdom of Ash, and my number 1 book, which I'll talk about in a second. So that's number 3, All the Young Dudes by Miss King.
Wow, it has Unseat Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Okay, number 2, Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card, which is the second book in the Ender's Game saga. So it's the story of adult Ender who goes to this planet that has these little aliens on it called piggies. And he learns about the people that live there and also this alien culture and tries to deal with the effects of what happened in Ender's Game and, tries to do better and be better. And Ender Wiggins probably one of my favorite book characters ever. And so I love the story of him as an adult, kind of dealing with all that he went through as a child because that kid went through it.
I'm surprised you didn't name like one of your children Ender.
Well, I do have an Andrew. So And his name is Andrew Wiggin.
Oh,
they call
is
him
it?
Ender. Yeah.
I read Ender's Game. I don't remember that, but it has been a long time. So,
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. So that's number 2.
okay.
Number 1, Bridge of Clay by Marcus Zusak. Just one of the most beautiful books ever written. It's so like lyrical and poetic and beautiful, but it's the story of 5 brothers, namely the middle brother Clay, and his experience through childhood and also dealing with the death of his mom and the disappearance of his father. It's told through the perspective of the oldest brother, Matthew, who kind of rehashes the story of who his parents were and how they met and how they all came to be and what happened to them after death and disappearance.
It is a beautiful book. I have read that one.
I will ugly cry in that book every time.
Like all of the characters have such depth. It is by the same guy who wrote The Book Thief.
Yeah.
Man knows how to write a mom.
Oh my gosh. Penelope Dunbar she is who I aspire to be as a mother. She is everything to me. I love her so much. And I love Clay.
It is a really good book. Like go read it, guys.
It is a lit fic. It is so different. It's not my normal genre. It's something so different, but oh my goodness, that book hit so hard.
And so if I look at like, let's say like your past 10 books, it's just funny to compare your like top.
Because what
you've been reading.
Yeah, because I'm really deep in Hermione.
I can really appreciate that about you because you really just don't discriminate. We love that.
Thank you. I try not
Mine are definitely like more.
They're very zeroed in on the fantasy land.
Yeah. I'm going to say in my number 4 because you went 4.
Okay.
The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, which are,
ew, yeah.
I think what inspired my love for fantasy in general, because when I was a kid, like my dad would read us those books and he would like do the little Hobbit voices.
Oh
I didn't see, have you seen the cartoons of those?
No.
They're scary, don't.
Yeah.
They're creepy.
I went through a big Lord of the Rings phase as a kid. Like, had the extra like bonus content on the DVDs like memorized.
Oh.
They show like clips of the cartoons on there and it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's something about the animation style I don't love.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 4.
That's number 4.
I will say mine are all series. They're not necessarily books.
Yeah.
I love a good story versus like
A one-off.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So number 3 is A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker, which I do believe was her first fantasy series. She's mainly a contemporary writer, and I haven't read any of her other books. I don't know if this one hit me just like at the right time of life. And I love rereading them. In fact, she has another one coming out here pretty quick.
How many books?
4.
Okay. That's a doable series.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not like crazy thick.
Okay.
It's about a girl in modern times who was homeless at one point, but now she's like a jewel thief. And then she gets like transported back to a fantasy land, but she gets put into a body that's not in her, like that's not her body. And that body is a princess who just tried to like kill her husband. And
righteous.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It was a unique perspective on the fantasy world. It's fantasy without being like so tropey, if you will. Anyway, I just read it at the right time. It's one of my favorites. Love it. Also, so my number 2 is the Awakens series by Elise Kova.
Yes.
And I actually
Elise Kova.
Elise Kova. Thank you. I am terrible with names, so I really do apologize. You will find that a lot throughout our journey here together.
I'm here for corrections.
Just like a great story, great writing, really like good depth of characters, which I love. I love the balance of plot to like character development. It's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender meets fantasy.
Sold.
Yeah. It's great. I love it. And I say that with only having watched like a handful of Avatar shows. So you're going to read it and be like, this was nothing like it.
Do it to it. Get on it.
But I really like a lot of the depth of character she has. But my number 1 all-time series is a little basic of me, but I just love Throne of Glass. But like very specifically, Kingdom of Ash was my favorite.
Yes.
There was, I mean, if you see like with all of my top, there's like a theme, right? These like epic fantasy worlds that kind of all come together for like a last battle or whatever. And Kingdom of Ash is no exception. There's beautiful character development. You get to meet a lot of characters and they're all so well written.
Oh, it's so incredible.
Aelin, Ash River, Galathinius will just be...
She's top dog.
Top dog. I have yet to find a character to beat her.
Yeah. She is phenomenal.
So that's my top. And I think it's really cool that you just added something into your top list, because mine have been like that. Like
it feels so good.
Mine have been like this for quite some time. I think I need to open my heart, and maybe I've just become more cynical.
I've just never felt so emotionally impacted. Well, I should say I haven't felt as emotionally impacted as I have in the last week in a long time. Like, to be hit that hard by a book, like, I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm thinking about it all the time. And that's exactly what happened with Bridge of Clay. And that's what happened with Ender Wiggin. And that's what happened with the characters in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Like, you just think about them and their experiences and, like, where they are now and what they're doing. I just want to hang out with Remus.
It's a very interesting perspective that I had a hard time with Manacle, just like separating Hermione and Draco. But I think I would have a way less of a hard time in that world, because
you felt just very canon driven. Yeah, everything that happened, even including their relationship, felt so organic and real and just like, wow, like this actually happened. And I totally believe all of this. Like, I watched Prisoner of Azkaban last night. There's a scene, because Remus has an incredible friendship and relationship with Lily in the book. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene in Prisoner of Azkaban where he's talking to Harry about his parents, and he talks about his friendship with Lily. Aww. And how she was there for him in some of his hardest times. And I was like, that's literally what happened in the book.
So it was pretty spot on.
It was spot on. I was floored. I was just like, ah!
You know,
I want to read it all the time.
He was my favorite Harry Potter character. Like, a lot of people were like, Harry, Hermione. And I was like,
Sirius, Remus.
Serious. Yes. Well, and McGonagall. Like, I just like really responded well to an old lady.
The queen that she is.
Yeah.
I love her.
Who doesn't? Like, everyone loves her.
And she's in All the Young Dudes.
I'm going to read this a little sooner than I thought it was.
Her, Madame Pomfrey, Dumbledore, they're all at the school.
I love that.
It's incredible.
I think I need this in my life.
Get on it.
So with that being said, so you just wrapped that up.
Yes. Just wrap that up and put it in my top 3.
You're reading Glow
of the Everflame.
Yep. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm enjoying it so far,
Are
actually.
You?
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like today I finally have my feet back under me a little bit.
Okay.
Yesterday I was like, what am I going to read?
Yeah.
Everything feels weird. Today I'm like, okay, we're doing better. We're getting into Glow. Glow's going good.
Nice.
I really like Luther. Yeah, right now she's at the funeral and dealing with all the cousins.
Without getting too spoilery, love Luther. He's made it in my top 10 book boyfriend list.
That's a hard list to crack into.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty set, and it has been set for a long time. Before we sign off, so you're reading that?
Yeah.
What's next after that?
After that, I've got to read Done and Dusted by Lyla Sage.
Okay.
Because last weekend I was at the bookshop down in Salt Lake City, and this girl was talking to an author and having her sign a book. And me and my friend are like, you're an author? Like, what book did you write? She's like, oh, I wrote Done and Dusted. Do you guys want a copy? I'll sign it for you.
Like a cowboy?
And I was like, absolutely. Yeah, it's like a cowboy romance. So I have a signed copy.
Look at you.
So I'm now going to read it. So cheers to you, Lyla Sage. That was so cool running into you at the Love Bound Library in Salt Lake City.
I love it when authors are like cool.
She was like so chill. So was the owner of that store. Like, I want to go live there. It was so fun. Just like the vibes were immaculate.
It's my goal to live in a bookshop. Like, if I didn't have to worry 100%. About money, hands down, I would own a bookshop.
Yeah. So Done and Dusted. I always have some Hermione going.
It's kind of an ongoing thing.
I do really want to dive into Awakens.
Okay.
And I am going to read Artificial Wisdom by Thomas Weaver at some point. Chris and Mads have been singing his praises on TikTok all year, so I've got to get in on that. What about you?
I want you to read it and tell me how it is.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
If it's, it doesn't sound like my bag, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm a little more sci-fi than you.
That's true, which is funny because I'm the one reading Red Rising. Yeah. So I'm reading Red Rising. I can already tell I'm going to read the next two for sure, but I know that there's like even more after that. And I'm a serial series reader. So that's on my docket. But like you really hard sold this book. What is it called?
All the Young Dudes.
All the Young Dudes. Because I just kept calling it Marauders. Marauders. And so between that and the playlist, that when you sent me the playlist, that was on Spotify.
I didn't realize I sent you the playlist. I thought I sent you the audiobook.
It's a playlist.
Cool.
Yeah. And I was like, I can get into this vibe. Like,
yeah, it's very like David Bowie, 1970s.
So that I think I'm going to read sooner than later. And I wanted to read tomorrow. But out of the two, which should I read first?
You got to read All the Young Dudes first.
Okay, All the Young Dudes. That is what I shall read. I was going to read Heartless Hunter, but I think I'm going to hold off until the next one. Cool. And that one comes out in February. And I just have enough books on my list that I think I want to. Until
then.
Yeah. But everyone loves it. And so it'll be interesting to get there when we get there. We are going to have a blast. A couple of like little teasers into future episodes. We're going to be talking about buddy reading in our next episode. We've got icks, tropes,
book boyfriends.
We deep dive into a lot of very popular books to Throne of Glass series, ACOTAR series, Fourth Wing, duologies, like One Dark Window and Divine Rivals. Like we've got a lot going on, a lot planned, and we're just excited to take you guys with us for the ride.
Yeah, because reading is for everybody, and it's going to be so great. All are welcome at the table. Let's add books to our TBR together. It's going to be a great time.
Yes, it will.
Bye.
Bye.